Hey there, neighbors and naysayers. April 3rd, 2024. Got a heck of a storm coming my way. We have had a ton of rain here. Somewhere over 4 inches in the last 48 hours. Creeks are swollen, flooded everywhere. Got some flooding up. I mean, nothing major and real damage, but this is the wettest, and I'm not even in the wet part of this field. The wettest I have ever been grazing, and I've only got the sheep out. I mean, you can see the water laying down there. But coming across this field tonight, I had to stop and take a video. So this strip of grass was grazed, let's see, 5-6 days ago. No, something like that. But this was where we turned mistakes into opportunities 2 or 3 years ago. So it wasn't winter of 23, 24, wasn't winter of 22, 23. It was a winter of 21, 22. I believe we had cows in here and we unrolled hay, and we seeded this field, and it's just amazing what it looks like now. And you may not think it, but it's a bunch of orchard grass, a bunch of red and white clover coming right now. There's still some chicory and some plantain if you really look close, but the thing I saw tonight as I ran over this bale scar, I almost didn't want to. I'll try to get down and check that out. And that's in the trample. Well, it might be in the center of the bale. Anyway, doesn't make a difference. There's some that definitely is in the trample. And that's clover coming back. Rachel was up here and she said, oh, there's a chicory plant right there. She said, wow, that seeding you did on Sunday's already sprouting. That's a joke. It's not. We spread seed on Sunday, but it's not it sprouting. It's what's in the seed bank, and that's the important part. It's what I wanted to take a video about was, we got to keep feeding that seed bank. Now, I used it here. We got lots of clover, and I'm working my way up the hill because there's a point where we stopped unrolling. It's just above this gate. Well, I guess we unrolled everything, but this part right about here was the line. And this wasn't very tore up. This was the second half of the winter. And you can see, I see a difference. I don't know that you do. I'm about into the driveway though, so it's different too. But if I come over here, I know I'll see the difference. This was not tore up as much, and so we still have a ton of fescue. There's some clover in it, but not near as good as that other field down there, or the other piece. It's all the same field, and that's a lesson to be learned, I guess. This bale grazing is awesome, and I think grazing this late in the season, we'll have some seeding opportunities. But this field really didn't need seed at all except for these bale scars. Now, the other part about that is, if you added all these squares together, I did the math the other day, but it's about 250 square feet times 300 bales. And I don't even want to do the math right now, but anyway, it's a lot. It's like 2 or 3 acres if you put them all together, I think. And so we're seeding, but we're just not seeding 2 or 3 acres at a time in one place. And the erosion is cut down so much because we just tore up little spots all over the farm. So we still have that seeding opportunity. I'm just not so certain. When 2 years ago I was satisfied with this being tore up, and you can go back and see those videos. I'm sure I got some somewhere. I was satisfied with this being torn up, and the opportunity I had to seed it, and it worked fabulously. We had a great stand of sorghum Sudan in here, and then this clover and orchard grass, and then some fescue coming in now too. But fantastic opportunity, and so we don't really want to lose that. I guess I'd like to find a happy medium between tearing it up as bad as we do, unrolling bales, and the impact we get with bale grazing. And so maybe following the KU advice or UK advice, the doctor's name escapes me at this moment, Greg Hallich, maybe this means I need to move the bales a little closer. Maybe 2 tons of the acre isn't enough impact maybe I need to have a little bit more impact, especially on these heavy sod fields, just to open things up a little bit. I'm really into tools and using this grazing as a tool. I want to call it a prescription so many times, and it is a prescription of how to do things, but also we need to look at it as a tool, and how can we make this work better for us? I think about that in terms of grazing pigs. You know, there are ways that we could graze pigs that we could do better. I mean, we could use them in such a way that they would be beneficial to us, like clean up brush or in wooded areas, or just fresh new cut over land, even these bale scars. But leave them too long and you made a mess. And the same with grazing. You know, we can graze a field quick and do a whole lot of good, but we can leave them there forever and it'll do a whole lot of damage. So I guess the moral for the story today, though, is the seed bank. I spread seed on Sunday. I know what I'm seeing sprouting everywhere is not what I spread on Sunday. It's what I spread year before and year before that and the year before that. And not every field, not every acre gets spread on every year, but a lot of it gets spread. Probably, I'd say a third of the farm typically gets spread every year. And that's where the seed comes from. Plus, of course, we let things go to seed, but typically it's more fescue goes to seed than orchard grass or clover. So we just got to keep adding back to that seed bank. Be mindful of that seed bank and what's out there. You know, I'm a trained soil fertility person, and I was taught that putting fertilizer down was money in the bank, and the soil was the bank, and it was going to hold on to it. I'm not so certain that's still true. I have got a lot of research that says that it isn't, but I also got a lot of training that says that it is. But what I do know is putting seed in the seed bank is money in the bank. It'll still be there. It'll stay, especially this hard seed. And when it gets an opportunity to grow, it'll grow just like a weed will. So if we fill up the seed bank with beneficial seeds and take away the weeds, or at least let them compete with the weeds, then at least when we get these open spots, we've got the ability to grow something, to get something to grow. And I'll end with this. Look at this clover shining in the sun here. Had a perfect rainbow here a little while ago. I wish I'd got the video out then, but you know, think about how pockmarked this was 3 months ago, 4 months ago when they were on it. When they came through here, this would be first, second, third bale they were in. And yet, look at what it looks like now. I mean, no damage whatsoever. And up there where I was just at, that was even later in the project, even more pockmarked, and still no damage. It's all growing back. I'm proud tonight of the field where the sheep were. It's all growing back. I seeded that Sunday. Again, boy, look how fast that grew. It didn't really, but it's there, and it's coming back fast. So things are going to be all right. We'll be able to graze that on the not next rotation, but the rotation after that. So with that, I'll say we'll see you next time.